Did you know that most sales are lost before the salesperson ever finishes their introduction? I can usually tell within the first 5 seconds if an agent is going to have a good or bad conversation. In this video, what we're going to do is we're going to listen to 3 of my calls where I use 3 separate introductions and I have 3 different outcomes from those introductions. Hey, my name is Eugene Marchenko. I appreciate you tuning in to this video. I've been doing insurance now for almost 20 years where I help Medicare prospects with their Medicare benefits, but I also help insurance agents become better salespeople over the phone. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to take my calls, my recordings that I have, and we're only going to focus on the introduction. I'm going to listen to the 3 calls that I have, and you'll hear me dissect them as if I was coaching myself, or if you were the one to make the calls, as if I was coaching you, and what I would do to become a better salesperson over the phone. As I was saying before, 3 different phone calls, 3 different outcomes, 3 different presentations, and we're only going to focus on the introduction and nothing else. One of the best ways to become a better salesperson is actually to listen to your own conversations and to your own phone calls and try to improve on what you already did. However, all that starts with a script. Your script is the blueprint to your entire conversation, to your entire sales presentation. And if you don't have a good, solid script, you're going to struggle. Most insurance agents who just wing it end up struggling, and they don't have a consistent return on their results and return on their efforts when they make their phone calls. But again, the most important part of any script is the first 15 to 20 seconds, which is your introduction. So what we're going to do now is we're going to listen to the first call, and it's a very short one, and I want you to listen to what I did, and then I'll tell you what I did wrong. Hello, Lillian?
Yes.
Hey, Lillian, this is Eugene giving you a call back. You filled out a form online about your Medicare. Do you remember that? It was when was this? A couple days ago?
Yeah.
So here she says, yes, she remembers it. And at this point, I'm doing everything correctly. A quick introduction, Eugene giving you a call back, and the emphasis is on the you. So it's really important that you emphasize the you because it's about them. It's not about me, right? And so she, at this point, doesn't even remember my name. And my name at this point is irrelevant. What's relevant is that she remembers that she did fill out a form. So that's really, really important. Now, what I do here goes completely sideways. So let's listen. And you're on Medicare now, right?
Oh, yeah, I got Medicare.
Okay. How long have you been on Medicare?
I think like 2 years ago,
2 years? Okay. Okay. And if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
67.
67. Okay, so you got it when you were 65, right?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Now, do you have any additional benefits to your Medicare, like work benefits or group benefits or like a Medicare Advantage? What do you have in addition to your Medicare?
I get OTC.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
OTC?
OTC. Is that through like a Humana or United Healthcare? So here, clearly, she hangs up the phone, and she honestly has every right to do so. Not only do I do a really bad job with the introduction, I go straight into asking her some really personal questions. There's no context behind those questions. Just because she filled out a form on Facebook or online or wherever she did it doesn't give me the right to start asking her all these personal questions about her age and what benefits she has now. Again, completely irrelevant. And so clearly, what she does, like any normal person, she's like, okay, well, this is some kind of scammer. Click, hangs up the phone. Obviously, I'm not a scammer, but what I did do wrong is that I did not do the correct introduction, and that ended up scaring her. So you can see her voice changing towards the end when she says OTC, and I went to go clarify that a little bit. At that point, if you listen to it, you can already see where I lost her. It's or like a Medicare Advantage. What do you have in addition to your Medicare?
I get OTC.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
OTC?
She became very spooked. Her voice became very shallow and she was unsure of herself. And what she did is she ended up hanging up the phone. Now, what I do in a case where somebody does hang up the phone is I like to call them back. And I'll call them back usually 2 or 3 times and just make sure that we didn't get disconnected. Because in a lot of cases, they will hang up the phone, and in a lot of cases, they won't. Sometimes it's just a bad connection. And so you just want to call them back and make sure that, hey, it wasn't some kind of technology error or whatever. So, but in this call, you can clearly hear that I botched it because there's really no clear blueprint that I'm following. I just did any kind of old presentation and I just winged it, and you saw the outcome and you saw the result. So in this call, this is a good example of what not to do. Now, on the second call, which we're about to listen to, I do a better job with the introduction, but notice something about this call that makes me pause and hit the brakes. And so let's listen to that first, and then I'll tell you what my thoughts were. Yes, hi, Mary.
Yeah.
This is Eugene giving you a call back. You filled out a form online about your Medicare. Do you remember that? It was a day or so ago. So at this point, notice how the introduction so far is the same. Hey, this is Eugene giving you a call back. You filled out a form online. It was a couple days ago, and I really think it was only just a day ago. But here it's important to remind them that they're the ones that initiated the contact, that they're the ones that wanted me to call them. And so that's why I always start the very first part of the introduction the same, even in that first call, that, hey, I'm calling you back. This is about you. You're the one that requested this information. Because they do get a lot of phone calls of people just calling them randomly. And I want to set myself apart from not being just this random person. So at this point, everything's exactly the same. Now, she does remember filling out the form, which makes it a little bit easier. I will say that if they don't remember, let's say the lead is a couple of weeks old now, and they just don't remember what they did, a simple reminder about what that form was about that they filled out, what the advertisement was about that they filled out, is important. So yes, you filled out a form, but they don't remember that. Here's what it was about. It was about dental benefits. It was about gym memberships, whatever, right? Whatever your ad is about, you want to remind them, and then you want to continue into the presentation. But notice here what I pick up on right away. A lot of agents want to push it anyways, and I don't. I hit the brakes and I pause it and don't continue the conversation, and here's why.
Yeah, dude, but I'm at the store right now.
Okay, when will you be back? I can call you back.
You can call me at 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. How about I call you tomorrow? Will you be around tomorrow morning? I have appointments all day today.
Yeah,
Like what time would you say?
like 9.
9. Okay. And do you mind if I ask you just a few questions? So like super, super quick.
Yeah.
What? So the thing that I did correctly is that I noticed that she was busy, that she was tied up, she was not in a good position to have a very serious conversation about her benefits. So yes, she asked for information, but no, she was not ready to talk at that time. She said she was at the store. She was not at home. She was not where she was comfortable. And I will never do a presentation with somebody who's driving in a car or somebody who is at a store or somebody who's preoccupied other than them being at home. And that's important because at this point, she's not in a decision-making state. And so I ask her, when is she going to come home? And or I ask if it's okay to call back tomorrow and set the appointment. I am trying to find out when are they going to be in the best decision-making state, so that way I can deliver them information that they can hear and interpret and make a decision with that one phone call. So I'm never pushing the presentation. I'm never pushing to try to get the sale. I don't like this whole pushy tactic thing. Like, let's go ahead, let's get it done now. That stuff's expiring tomorrow. Today's the last day. Tomorrow's too late. No, we don't do that. Nothing is that pressing. The most important part for me is that they understand their benefits. They're understanding what they were requesting when they fill out the form, and that they're understanding what I'm telling them so they can make a decision. That's how you prevent complaints. Now, here's what I did wrong. Just like with the first phone call, I said, do you mind if I ask you a few questions? So, what I did right is I asked for permission to ask some questions. However, I did not give any context, just like in the first call, I did not give any context as to why I'm asking those questions. It's very important that if you're going to ask somebody some qualifying questions, you tell them why. And you'll hear that again in the third video where I actually tell them why I'm asking those questions. But in this call, this specific call, she did remember. She was preoccupied, so now I'm in let's reschedule or let's schedule an appointment. And let me qualify you a little bit because I don't want to waste this person's time and talk to them when they can't qualify or they're not eligible for the products that I'm trying to offer them. Now, also with that being said, I don't want to push the call any further except just ask some basic questions. So what I should have done is tell them why I'm asking those questions and then ask those questions so that way I can be a little bit more prepared for the call tomorrow. And I go from sales presentation mode into appointment setter mode. And also asking some follow-up questions will help build a little rapport so that way tomorrow she will remember me calling because I will tell her, go ahead and write this down somewhere, which you'll hear in just a second. But it's important that when you're spending some extra time with them, you never want to say, oh, right now is not a good time. Okay, I'll call you back tomorrow. Bye, click. They're not going to remember that interaction at all. People are too busy. There's too much going on. And so instead, you say, I'm going to ask you a few questions. Here's why I'm asking you these questions. And what that will do is it will help etch in their memory that I have a call with this person tomorrow. So I do that part, but I still at this point fail to tell her why I'm asking certain specific questions. Let's listen. What state are you in?
Ohio?
Ohio. Okay, so you're on the Eastern time zone, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't want to call you too early. All right. And
Okay.
you do have Medicare now, right?
Yeah.
Medicare. Okay. And one more question, I'll let you go. What's your age?
67.
67. Perfect. All right, Mary. So my name is Eugene. All right. If you want to write it down, just don't forget me. I'll call you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.
So notice how at the end of the call, I gave her my information. I told her who I was, and I just said, don't forget about me tomorrow. I will be calling tomorrow, and that what I found really improves the chances of them picking up the phone tomorrow when you call them. Now let's listen to this third and final call. This call, I feel like I did the best job I could possibly do to follow a script. There's a few things that I would change, which I'll go over in just a second. And it's important to notice that unlike the first two calls, where I do the quick little introduction about why I'm calling them back and that they fill out the form. In this call, I do a really good job of keeping the person engaged and keeping the person wanting to talk to me by a few techniques that I use when I'm following the script to the T. So whenever I'm training my agents, whether in my office here or my downline agents, what I'm doing is I'm focusing on making sure that their delivery is 100% spot on. What I would have changed in this call is I would have had the script written out in front of me. And that way, if I lose track of what I'm saying, I can kind of go back to the script. Obviously, in this video, you'll hear a lot of ums. That's one of the things that will help alleviate you being distracted when you're talking to somebody and trying to collect your thoughts is by having that script in front of you. But notice here, again, introduction, very quick introduction about why I'm calling, filled out a form on Facebook. That stays the same. But notice how I keep him engaged through the rest of this conversation. Let's listen. Hello, Vincent.
Yeah?
Hey, Vincent, it's Eugene giving you a call back. You filled out a form online in regards to your Medicare. Do you remember that? I think it
I
was just
think so.
recently you just did that. It was an advertisement on Facebook.
Uh-huh.
So notice here how he wasn't really quite sure that what I was talking about. And so I'm telling him or reminding him that it was an advertisement on Facebook is what he was responding to, and that's why I'm calling him back. That's what I was saying before. If they don't remember, you want to help them a little bit about what that advertisement that they saw was about.
And I'm giving you a call back. I was trying to see whether or not this is something that you can qualify for, because not everybody can. And what I want to do is
So the key here is I was giving you a call back because you filled out a form about a certain program. And what I want to do is I want to ask you a few questions to see if this is something that you can qualify for. What this does is it builds that natural curiosity in this person where, yes, they were interested, and yes, there's a program available, and now they're really curious if this is something that they can qualify for. Because I say not everybody can, right? And honestly, not everybody can. There's certain parameters that you need to have aligned in order for you to qualify for a certain program. Whether it's a chronic disease, whether you've moved recently, whether you're new to Medicare, right? So there's some conditions that need to be met. And by doing so, they can qualify for these programs. So I work that into my presentation, which helps build that natural curiosity that people have. And it's something as simple as saying, let's just see if this, I'm going to ask you a few questions and let's just see if this is something that you can qualify for.
maybe ask you a few questions and then determine whether or not this is a program that's available to you.
Okay.
Now, it's Vincent, right?
Yes.
Okay, yes, sir. My name is Eugene. All right, I'm the representative. So what I'll do is I'll ask you a few questions, and then I'll determine if it's available, if it's not available, if I can help you, if I can't, and just kind of go from there. Okay. So
Okay.
So notice how I'm a little bit jumpy here. The reason why I'm a little bit jumpy is I don't have that script in front of me. The only thing I would have changed in this call is I actually would have had my script right there. So that way I was not as jumpy as I was in this call.
Ask you a few questions. Now, Vincent, how old are you, sir?
59.
59. 5'9", right?
Yep.
All right. And do you have things like Medicare or Medicaid or disability or anything like that?
I am on Social Security disability. I have the red, white, and blue card.
You do? Right.
So notice how he's answering my questions that I'm giving to him, and he's not feeling spooked, and I'm asking those questions confidently. And what I did is I created that natural curiosity that most humans have. And so now it's such an easy flow to the conversation where when I ask him a question, it's in his mind one step closer to qualifying for what it is that he had inquired about. And so notice that his tone is significantly different than the tone of the first person that I scared away and their tone. And so what I'm doing here is I'm creating a reason for the call. I'm building that natural curiosity and letting them know that there is a process, right? It's not just that, okay, here you go, sold, right? You want a vacuum cleaner? Everybody can get a vacuum cleaner, right? No, there's a process. I'm establishing this process. I'm establishing this curiosity, and that's what's helping move this call along.
Okay. And because a lot of these programs, they're actually tied in with Medicare. So if you didn't have the red, white, and blue card, you possibly would not be able to qualify. But that's a step in the right direction. So that's good. In addition to your red, white, and blue card, do you happen to have Medicaid?
Hold on. Let me grab my stuff.
Notice here how he says, let me go grab my stuff. So not only is he participating in the call, not engaged, he's kind of working a little bit, right? He's getting up, he's going to go get his card, he's going to go look at what he has, and he's really engaged in this conversation. And we're only just a few seconds into it. That's already established me as an authority in the call. why I'm asking these questions, making him feel comfortable, and really truly trying to help him. But in order to help him, I have to know his situation. I have to know what he has going on. That's the reason for my questions. But of course, I told him that, and I set that expectation. And notice how he is pretty eager. Oh, hold on a second. Let me get up and let me go get that, right? You can hear that in his voice. And that's a complete night and day difference between this call and the first call. What I'll do is I'll let the rest of this call play out at the end of the video, but I want to touch on one final thing, which is creating the curiosity. Everybody is curious. It's human nature to be curious. And so by positioning this call in a way where I remind him why I'm calling, that he's the one that initiated the contact, I tell him I'm going to ask him some questions, and I'm telling him that he has to qualify. That creates that natural curiosity that I've been talking about. And so what you'll notice is throughout the rest of this call, he's very excited to have this conversation with me. What is it that I can qualify for? What is it that's available for me, right? Those are the questions that go through his head. And so we, as insurance agents and or salespeople, what we do is we position our conversations in a way that it creates that natural curiosity. So to end this video, before I play the rest of this call, what I would do is I'd make sure that you have the correct sales presentation. You want to make sure that 90% of the time that your customer is doing the talking, not you. You need to make sure that you're the one who's asking open-ended questions. And in this case, importantly, when it comes to the introduction, it's really important that your introduction builds you as the authority figure, that you're the one who knows what they're doing, and you're the one that's going to help these people with whatever that they were looking for. In order to know what they were looking for, you have to ask certain questions, but before you ask those questions, you need to make sure that they can qualify. And before they can qualify, you have to tell them that, hey, let me qualify you. Let me build that natural curiosity. Let me see if I can help you. And then the rest of the call will kind of fall into place with the correct script.
And then I have just the blue and white card.
Blue and white card. What does it say on the blue and white card?
Medicare,
Okay. Now, what about the red, white, and what does that one say? Sorry for the
Medicare,
question.
yeah, no. Medicare health insurance.
Oh, okay. What I could do, I can pull that up with that number, and I can tell you exactly what's available to you if you'd like.
Okay.
What is that Medicare number?
Okay, we're gonna number 3.
Okay.
And
So if you like content like this, please subscribe, hit the like button. There's gonna be more videos like this where we talk about different scripts, different call presentations. We're gonna talk about the basics of Medicare, the basics of health and life insurance. And I appreciate you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks.